Alright. What's going on, everybody, and welcome back. We are here in the Grand Finals, the Pigstarcraft Weekly. Excuse me, it's on the PTR. We've got Solar in the bottom right side of the map. We've got ByuN in the top left side of the map. It's a TVZ, and it's a rematch from last week where Solar was up and then barely lost in that final game of the PTR Grand Finals. It was really close. Solar had an advantage, but he headbutted a bit too hard, let ByuN get a big mass of ghosts up, and those ghosts started to get insane efficiency once Solar lost momentum, and it was a very big comeback. 15 hatchery for Solar to start. Looks like a standard 14 barracks for ByuN. Yeah, 14 barracks, 14 gas, I believe. Actually, was that gas before that barracks, guys? 18 seconds? No, it was just about the same time. We are going to see a 16 spawning pool. This is very greedy. I asked ByuN last week, I said, Solar's never drone scouting. Wouldn't it be worth it to just go double proxy barracks on 10 or 11 supply? You know, kill him with Marines and come build a bunker. But I think the Zergs and Terrans kind of feel like the problem is the Zerg will see them coming with the Overlord and just give up the hatchery and kind of can defend in the main base with a mixture of drones, grab a Roach more and go one base Ravager to break out, and the Terran sacrifices too much economy to make it happen. I still want to see it get tested more, because maybe not on this map, since the Overlord does still get there, I guess, at a decent-ish time, but maybe on a slightly longer map for the Overlord to get across, because it doesn't really see anything until quite late. Like, you can see, it's got to get all the way here. He's going to build 2 Queens, an Overlord. Maybe he does make 4 Zerglings for safety, does Solar. But he might even start more drones before seeing this command center, right? Like, the Overlord's pop, Solar still has no idea if this is a standard build or not, and he's building more drones. And it could be at this moment, Marines and SCVs could be coming in. You know what I mean? I don't know. It feels to me like there's a way, you know, there should be a build that gets Terran ahead. I'm not quite sure. ByuN seemed pretty convinced it was not good when I chatted to him about it. Reaper doing some damage to the hatchery. Queen's about to pop out there. She will be able to push this back. And good Spore Trick just to keep that drone safe. You cancel the buildings now. You can see he wants to go for a creep tumor. He's waiting for the second Queen to come down to guard it. That's right, this is the Grand Finals, everybody. Oh, the predictions are closed now, aren't they? Yes, they are. Okay, the predictions did close themselves. That's good. I forgot to do that myself. The barcode is, of course, ByuN, guys. ByuN versus Solar. Unfortunately, the PTR doesn't give you name changes, the public test realm. And as a result, some players have very silly names or barcodes. Luckily, ByuN is nice enough to have created a clan called ByuN, so that at least if you hover over him, you can see his name. But it is what it is, unfortunately. PTR's not the most well-serviced of servers, is it? Not the most well-maintained. Third command center, crazy early for ByuN. Very economic opening. Good choice. Solar is such a normie. He's almost always just straight macroing. That's Solar's style. Even in 12 worker current life balance for the last few years, we've always said Solar's problem is he plays overly safe and overly predictable in this matchup. One game in a best of 5, he'll mix an all-in or a big Ling Flood, but it's only ever one game. It's never 2 or 3. It's not like Raynor. You'll see Raynor sometimes do 2 or 3 all-ins in a row against Maru. Ling Floods, Ling Queen drops, Nidus Worms. You know, Raynor will just go balls to the wall if he thinks you're being greedy. It feels like with Solar, he just plays his own game. Reaper does go down. So to explain, I think Solar's mindset is more, oh, I shouldn't be too predictable. One game in a best of 5, I will do like an attack. Just because he knows in theory it's good to mix things up. But like, it doesn't feel like it's an adaptation to his opponent. It feels like it's just a thing he does in the matchup because that's how he thinks it's a good way to play the matchup. Whereas it often feels like Raynor says, Maru's so greedy, I gotta all in this guy. He's gonna get the fastest double upgrades of all time. Let's punish it. Oh, scan to kill the Overlord. Prioritizing denying information there, interesting. Now, the Zerglings, what did they see? They saw the second barracks. They didn't see the third one. He might be able to surmise from the Marine count what's happening, though. Single Evo chamber goes down. He wants that early Carapace. Remember, Carapace is very cheap. Only 100 minerals and 100 gas on this. Like he's skipped an inject in the main to get this creep. Often you want to spread this around the edges of the main. Gives extra vision, extra movement against those drops. Marines trying to create pressure, but this is always so dangerous because, like, as ByuN, look at his camera, guys. We're on ByuN's camera. He has no vision. He's trying to pretend he's a scary boy and Zerg needs to build army. But if he gets surrounded, dude, this is terrible. And he has no idea right now. In his mind, Solar could be on 70 drones. He could be on 30 drones. And he kind of just has to, like, rely on Solar being a predictable / intelligent player who's going to react in a very logical manner to this pressure you're showing him. But it's so dangerous if you get surrounded, because without Hellions, without Banshees, without a Viking, you have very little movement. No music. Oh, we've had no music all day today. That's what's different. Thank you, guys. I appreciate that. Oh, Bulgarian. Realized we didn't have the soundtrack. Those watching on YouTube later will get music the whole time. Sorry, live viewers. Oh, the Marines get surrounded. This is exactly what I was worried about, guys. He stumbles into the Queens on the grass. 16 Marines for 22 Zerglings, and that was just a bad stay. He should not have still been there. Should have pulled back, but he didn't want to let Solar spread creep, and this is always the downside of playing these 3cc builds. He's now going to drop a super early 4th, because I think he realizes the way to get back into this game is very, very late in the game. Second Evo Chamber is going to come in as well. I really wish Terrans would mix in a Raven now for clearing the creep, now that the subgroup priority changed. I think for pros it's really hard because it's actually going to mess with their muscle memory. Because unlike most of us who would just fumble it and go, ah, would get confused by it, they actually are good at using the Raven with the old subgroup priority. They got used to it. Most of us didn't learn that. They did. So for them it's probably a handicap. Temporarily. Nice transfuses on the Overlords. Good op pickup though. Doesn't lose any of the Marines. ByuN's going to try and be as annoying as he can right now. He's got +2 armor, +1 vehicle weapons on the way. Just going to try and escape with this drop, which is exactly the correct move. Thinks about dropping some Marines, but that's just not it. Not yet. Zerglings jump on top, and he's got to leave. And ByuN does that very well. Nice Spore cancel into rebuild, though. I love that micro for Solar. And ByuN does start +2 weapons and vehicle weapons, and a second and third factory. Now, often he only goes 2 tech labs here, but he just wants 1 on a reactor, 2 on tech labs, so he can build a mixture of tanks and Hellbats and Widow Mines. Sometimes he does go 3 tech lab factory mass siege tank, and there's a big blind spot I want to prime you guys for. You hear me talk about this every week when I cast these guys play. Solar thinks Broodlords are trash. ByuN is obsessed with siege tanks in late game. He basically relies on siege tanks more than any other top Terran to survive the waves of Zerg attacks. Broodlords hard counter siege tanks. There is a window before Thors and Ghosts get out where ByuN is very weak to Broodlords. But Solar has a mental block where he believes Broodlords are bad, and rather than playing against the opponent, he plays what he thinks is good. He doesn't play things that he thinks are bad. Even though Broodlords are excellent, I would call them a borderline free win tech choice against ByuN in early late game. It's one of those things where people, yeah, and even now people in chat are going, Broodlords are kind of garbage. They're so bad. And I'm like, in general, yes. Against a guy who always builds 15 siege tanks, sometimes 20 siege tanks, they are a free winning unit. If Solar could make that adjustment against ByuN, I think the head-to-head would go wildly in his favor. Lingbane Hydra moving in. 3 tanks building at a time. You see what I'm talking about? 3 factory siege tank is so bad, guys. If your opponent's willing to play Broods. ByuN is adapting to the opponent. Solar is not adapting to the opponent. And this is what we saw last week as well. He went Broodlords about 6-7 minutes too late once there was mass Ghosts on the map. And the modern Ghost annihilates Broodlords. Broodlords have a more... Oh, that medevac got sniped. They have a more niche use case than ever before. Solar busts up the ramp. A lot of the tanks weren't sieged. The Marines getting gunned down. He gets the command centers and the SCVs. ByuN just too greedy here. That's a beautiful timing. You gotta realize, guys, ByuN was not fully maxed and he was building like 5 command centers. He loses 1 there. Maybe he canceled another one. Loses 16 workers. ByuN has so many workers, he can absorb the worker losses. The problem is, that was a good positive trade for Solar. And it's just because he's been cutting unit production, has ByuN, to try and mass command center. He was banking on getting to the late game, which is how he made that comeback in Game 5 last week. But this time, Solar's not going to make the same mistake. One of the bugs we haven't talked about much, guys, is Vipers are meant to be able to abduct siege tanks now. but it's bugged in the PTR, so they're not able to. Just a heads up. They're meant to be able to now, but until they fix that bug, they're not able to. I don't know if it changes the late game for pros much. Dark Tiger, Abduct on Siege Tanks. It helps against mech. Pros almost never use Abduct against late game Terran anyway. They almost only use Blinding Cloud. So you don't expect a big change in pro level results. For me and you, yes, I love Abduct. I use Abduct all the time. But against Bio Tank, I don't think it'll change that much. Against mech, it probably will be used a bit more. Another big wave getting ready. Solar's going to go for it, I think. Is he, though? He's waiting for lunge. Is he going to pull the trigger? It's a nice defensive setup for ByuN, guys. Look at this. Layers of tanks and marines. Remember what I said? 3 tanks building at a time, but look at that. Blinding Clouds. Good Blinding Clouds on the front row of tanks. Great Blinding Clouds. Ooh, the marine spready was beautiful, though. The angling was excellent. And ByuN only loses 8 workers, and ByuN, remember, he was down a few thousand resources. Now he's only down 500 in the trading. So ByuN holding that attack in stellar fashion. And the other mistake that Solar made in the end of the finals last week is when he had ByuN turtled in late game, he took way too long to mine the forward bases. And there's really zero pressure on you as a Zerg at this point. Sometimes I criticize players in high pressure situations. I look back on it, I go, this is unreasonable criticism. When the Terran is sitting in his corner doing nothing for 5 minutes, this is the most valid criticism you can ever give a player. If a player of Solar's caliber, who's a multiple champion of Premier tournaments, like, he absolutely has the actions to do it. He's just not thinking about it. It's a prioritization issue more than anything else. I love that he's taking this hatchery here now, but he should be taking this one and this one as well. You always want to start mining all of the middle forward bases because that puts pressure on Terran to move out. Another big bust is coming in, though. The Ultras are here. There's no real answer to those Ultras. No libs, no ghosts. Tanks can gun through them eventually, though, and the Marauder count is growing. The Zerglings get hammered on that ramp. The splash damage of the tanks, normally not that amazing against Lings, but when they clump up the ramp, not bad at all. Units lost tab now, 2,500 in favor of ByuN. You can throw waves at Terran like this all day long. As long as you steal these resources, you basically have the game locked in. But Solar's pushing back that medevac after it clears creep. He's still not transferred to this base or this base. And you really want to pull off these safer bases in the back to those forward ones. Especially when you've got a big mineral bank to rely on. So mining, having a small gap in your income while you transfer workers costs you very little. I think every time I watch anyone that's not Serral play late game, I'm always reminded by just how many details he has on lockdown compared to everybody else. And I don't mean to criticize Solar there. It's just I have these same criticisms for everybody I cast that's not Serral. And even Serral, if you go back to some of his games, was it Maru beat him in... no, it was Hero who knocked him out of the Invitational. Back at the Thunderfire Invitation. It was the tournament after that. There was an online tournament he lost to Maru. I can't remember what the name of the tournament was, but it was maybe a Kung Fu Cup or something like that. One of these. I think it was just the online tournament after the Thunderfire Invitational where Serral forgot Corruptors for like 6 minutes against Mass Lib, and it really cost him. So even Gods bleed. Solar's in a good position, but this next attack is crucial. Good Blinding Cloud to lead the fray. The tank line goes very far back. The Bio started stepping away. You're always going to grab the front tanks, but can he break deeper into the line? The tanks just keep on extending further and further. The Banelings are good. The Banelings are good. Solar getting some great value with the Banelings. The Marauders trying to gun down these Ultras, and that looked like a good fight to me. I think that was a very good fight for Solar, guys. It looks like a lot of the tanks were just a bit too far north, and the Ultras are still trading so well because there's no libs and no ghosts. And units lost tab? Yes, it's 2,000 in favor of ByuN, but especially with how much of the map Solar has, he's way ahead. But he's got to mine these forward bases. He's still not mining the bottom left. He's not taken this base, and he's not transferred to this one or fully saturated this base yet. And those are mistakes. Inefficiencies might be a nicer word for it. The Corruptors are mixed in really early, which means these medevacs are all going to die in the next fight. It's actually too early on the Corruptors, which I love to see. Because if you just keep killing all the medevacs, the Bio and the SCVs can't even heal up after fights, and he's just going to go again. Mass Zergling, Baneling. Some Corruptors come in, some Vipers as well. There's actually not that big a ground army. This army felt a bit disjointed for Solar. He should click the orbitals. ByuN realizes, lifts the orbitals, trying to save them. If those Banelings blow up those 2 orbitals, that would have been a much nicer fight. That was disjointed for Solar. in that the Banelings were a bit behind, and a bunch of his Ultras and Hydras weren't quite with the army yet. So Solar just pulled the trigger a little bit too early, but again, the Banelings find the worker line, and every time that happens, ByuN is just getting absolutely hammered, worn down. Corruptors P'd down a command center there as well, and it feels like Solar's just not going to take his foot off the aggression. Just full pedal to the metal right now, and just keep on going. Pedal to the metal. Orbitals are absolutely precious in this scenario. ByuN's spent so much money to get all this mass orbital up. Everyone that dies is incredibly valuable. Good lift, good lift. 70 workers have gone down. He's lost 1 orbital, 1 command center. He might have lost 1 more to like friendly fire from tanks or something. But overall, I'm surprised he's kept so many command centers alive. I just don't think he has the numbers. Ghosts are coming out, but they're in too small numbers to deal with this. You can see the Medivacs getting hammered by the Corruptors. No healing for the ground army. Even single Ultras coming in and doing decent damage. That Ultra does get blasted. But Solar's just way too far ahead. ByuN realized he was behind earlier. He made a conscious choice to turtle up and try to force late game. But ByuN realized the assignment and said, I will not make the mistake from yesterday. I will overwhelm. Alright, guys. A very decisive game one there for Solar. Absolutely stomped. He's in the bottom left side of the map. In the top right, ByuN. And gonna go out for that depot on 12. Oh yeah, that's right, yeah. I don't know, I normally build it on 11. Have I been building it earlier than I need to? I feel like he's gonna get slightly supply blocked here, isn't he? Am I crazy, guys? Could I have been building 12 depot this whole time? Oh, he does get supply blocked for 1 second. 1 second. Okay, nice. Solar's going to go 16 hatchery, guys. Greedy build for Solar. But he does this every game pretty much, right? 16 hatch, 16 pool, I think is what he's been enjoying. Does he build 1 more drone or does he go 15 pool? Yeah, 1 more drone. Nice greedy build for Solar. Big map for it. Pretty safe map. ByuN has shown he doesn't want a proxy racks. I think if there's no threat of a proxy barracks, this early game is very unhealthy. I really do feel like whatever they end up doing with the patch, the whole point of early game interaction is we need, obviously I haven't seen the results of it yet. We need people testing it, but I think the goal should be, if you go for a greedy hatch first, no drone scout, there should be a very all-in proxy barracks that can beat it. ByuN seems convinced that there isn't. I don't know if he's right or not. Zombie Grub says, I actually felt like Proxy Reaper was worth it so every single time Clem played it yesterday. That's what I'm thinking. I really feel like players have not really stepped outside of their comfort zones very much. And I'm surprised how few players are willing to try aggression. But it does remind me that a lot of players have been conditioned over the many years of aggression getting nerfed and these sorts of things, as well as playing against the best players who are so good at defending. We're trying new aggressive timings and figuring them out whilst playing GSL and Maestros and these other big tournaments on the side. It's maybe something we shouldn't expect. It's also, if you look at the players who've been successful in recent years, they aren't really the innovative players, right? StarCraft's been relatively consistent for many years, so you don't really have your TY. TY is not playing anymore, you know? TY was like the guy who made all the Terran builds. Maru, I think, will still be very good at making builds. Hero will be really interesting to watch. I'd love to see Dark come back and play around with whatever changes they go through with and figure out what to do. But what foreigners are there? I think Lambo will be interesting. If he puts a lot of time into it, he'll come up with some really good builds for Zerg. I think keep an eye on some of the less famous European players, like your Goblins, your Strangers. Rogue, definitely Rogue guys. Yeah. Because there's 2 very different skills in RTS. There's your innovators and there's your refinement, you know, max packs. Iterate 1,000 times, become the best in the world. I think of like Vortex and Lucifron. Those guys go to any new RTS they enjoy. They get to the very top very early. They're so good at figuring out early builds. You know, you've got your kind of cheesier players, your Blyes, your Hasses who find really abusive strats. I'd say Hass is more of a straight up like the most abusive, brutal thing he can find. Whereas Bly's more of like a mind gamer. You know, like Hass is just like, I want something broken that I can kill you with. Whereas like Bly's a bit more of like there's clever little tricks. He kind of wants you to think he's doing this, funnel you in a direction, and then he immediately flips over to the hard counter, to your counter, to what he made you think he was doing. So I think those players are really interesting, and they're definitely players who, because StarCraft 2 is so fast and so like mechanical these days, none of them have really been able to win much prize money for a long time. So don't have as many of them playing at the top. So part of me wonders if maybe there's more innovation going on in like low GM and Masters and Diamond League right now on the PTR than there is at pro level. I don't know. Either way, it's without patches fixing the things, without Warp Gate being in a great state, the testing is very suboptimal right now. And hopefully we do get a lot of aggressive adjustments for Blizzard sooner rather than later. Ling's moving around. A couple spores come down. Those spores are actually very early, guys. The Banshee's just leaving the base. So these spores probably a bit early than is necessary. Lair is very late, though, for Solar. Solar's up 7 workers. 3rd CC in the wall off. It's just going to be double upgrades here. ByuN really feels like ByuN, I think in his mind, the Ghost is king. And he wins like the late game, I think, in his mind. I honestly think Solar, if he just like made two or three small adjustments to his late game, I kind of feel like he'd never lose to ByuN in late game. I don't know if I'm being a bit of a hater on ByuN's late game, because I do think his late game is so much better than it was even a few years ago. But I kind of just feel like Solar, if you give him map control, his early build-up is so clean. If we think about it historically, Maru bullies Solar. The way he does it is extreme greed into extreme aggression. Maru will cut a corner. He'll be really, really greedy. And then he'll just go straight into like biomine aggression and just absolutely drown Solar. And so and he'll just cut all these little corners where Solar's like building 6 safety zerglings he doesn't need. Solar builds spores that he doesn't need. And that's usually where Maru gets momentum against Solar off of some nice little greedy skips. Essentially, he skips little pieces of safety that people normally think they have to do. He abuses Solar's defensive nature. Like, there have been periods where I've argued that Solar, even though he's lost 6-7 series in a row versus Maru, is like on just raw stats, like double the player Maru was at the time. Like, there was a period where Maru was really could not take a series off Raynor or Serral for his life. But he just kept bullying Solar. And Solar was so good. He was beating the crap out of even Clem sometimes at that time. And I just realized it was just Maru had such a good read on how Solar plays and how to play against him. And that's Maru in a nutshell. You can have Maru with a debilitating injury, playing slower, less mechanical StarCraft than he's ever played, and he just knows how to play against his opponents. Well, this is a Hydra build. Oh, we haven't seen Hydra builds on 8 workers. At least I haven't. Oh, is this too greedy? I think this is too greedy, guys, right? Surely he loses the 4th base. 13 Hydras, 1-1 and Hydra range are just not quite there. This is so greedy. The Marines and Elbats are going to get in on top of the Queens. If you can kill the Hydras as they're popping, that could be good. Lings come in from behind. Solar needs to buy time. He doesn't quite have these Hydra upgrades. But of course, the Marines, they have to stim it again, which is expensive. He doesn't quite have combat shields. The Hydras are here. The Banshees go forward. No Overseer. And he sieges a tank on the front. That should at least be a dead 4th base. Into an evacuate for ByuN. He's got to get out. ByuN, you need to leave. The upgrades are kicking in. Groove Spines is there. He's got to click the hatchery and leave. ByuN overcommitting right now. He's now going to click the hatchery, but the transfusers. The transfusers. And he saves a few Marines. 5 Marines there, but the Banshee, number 1 Banshee is... No, both Banshees go down. Solar rebuilds, and I think Solar's fine. He took a good enough army versus army trade. I know that looks bad, but I think that's good enough. As long as he immediately rebuilds and starts +2 Carapace, as long as he doesn't forget +2 Carapace for long, I think he's fine. He starts melee there. Carapace needs to begin. There we go. He begins it. Really good. Good job by Solar. He's on 85 workers, man. He's going to, of course, not have mining on the 4th straight away, but ByuN's also only just started his 4th now as well, so not a bad spot to be in. Double tank production for ByuN. He's oversaturated on his 3rd a little bit, whilst the main and the natural are barely saturated. He's got a double drop on the map. Just outside of Overlord vision is where he drops. Should be a snipe on this 5th base. Very good move. Keeping Solar under control. You don't want the Zerg to get a fast 5th as well. Well, they just have a bit too much mineral mining around 12, 13 minutes. You can delay this. I mean, it's going to be up by 12, 13 minutes, but at least like 11 and a half, 12 minutes when the half the mineral patches in the natural run out. But this is This is PTR. These mineral patches don't run out. Never mind. Never mind. 5th base is not important at all. It, like, barely matters. Sorry, guys. Casting this as if it's a 12 worker start. It's not. I mean, it's not even the worker start. It's the mineral patches, specifically. I call the economy changes in general the 8 worker start. But that is specifically to do with the mineral patch amounts. Marines get a good spot behind the mineral line. Queens and Hydras come in. Medevac's going to go down. Attacks the front as well. No Bane speed. Wow! No Bane speed. It's not even started upgrading. What are you making slow Banes for? He must have thought he made Bane speed. Oh no! Infestors would have done amazingly well here. But look at that. He's also got 2 tanks. Oh wow. 2 tanks around the corner. Random Medevac runs towards the Hydras like a crazy person. Marines do redrop there. Shame he loses the tank. Solar is still on 5 base. 81 workers, but I always talk about how early Bane transitions really suck off both Roach Ravager opening or Hydra opening. There's a point when you're maxed out where the Banelings are amazing because it adds power to your maxed out army. But when you're not maxed out, the Banelings kind of just, if you don't already have a massive Zerglings with them, they kind of just run towards the Marines and get easily targeted. So whenever you start with heavy Roach Ravager or heavy Hydra, you have mostly a ranged army that forms a concave. The Banes get stuck behind them. They naturally kind of break up their own charge, so they don't go in all at once unless you really micro your army well. And then when they do go in, they're basically just like very slow-moving, easy targets. Even with Bane speed, if they're off creep, they're just not that powerful. So me and Rainer have talked about this a bit, and we really think getting a few Infestors and then going Banelings later, just a minute or 2 later, go into Banelings once you're getting closer to maxed is a much better way to play. But Solar, a lot of the Zergs, Rogue as well, Serral a few times, they all really love the early Baneling transition. And when you get away with the mid-game, it's fine. It looks great. It's when your opponent hits you in the mid-game and forces these trades, that's where the Banes look really awkward. And, well, you add no Baneling speed as well. And obviously, it looks beyond awkward. It's a tragic mistake for Solar that's turned a move that I think is a little suboptimal into obviously a disastrous move. Marines on the left side. Medevac needs to pick those up. The Marauders here. This beautiful spread of units. You just can't engage into this. It's an awkward spot and still no Bane speed. It's about to kick in, but ByuN controlling the center of this map. Solar Force to the bottom right. ByuN branching forward. Excuse me, guys. Denying these creep tumors. Vipers coming over, though. If you move your tanks forward, clump them up, Blinding Clouds could ruin your day. ByuN should be pulling back. Oh god, he's going for... He's giving Solar the fight that Solar so desperately needs. Disastrous army movement for ByuN. Disastrous. But Solar doesn't pull the trigger! If Solar jumped in from the left and the right there, landed Blinding Clouds, he could have smashed him. Nonetheless, he's going to go for it now from one angle rather than the flank. But great Blinding Clouds are good enough. And ByuN does clear the Banelings towards the tail end, but he loses all of his siege. He's got 4 commands and his 2 tanks, 2 ghosts building at a time. It might not matter. He's on 8 barracks, pumping ghost tank. And a drop in the bottom right has not only denied the base, but it's also now going after this hatchery as well. ByuN is bullying Solar in this game, despite Solar having what looked like a pretty damn nice start. Trying to go straight Hydras, a bit too greedy here. Medevac's going to fly to the corner. This command center is going to go up the top as well. 3 3s on the way. Adrenal glands. Oh, lurker upgrades coming in. Okay. Well, if this was Rogue, I would give him an 80% win chance right now. Unfortunately, it's Solar, guys. So there's a thing. Sometimes I cast StarCraft like I read tea leaves or read palms. Basically, whenever Rogue's really screwed in a game, he always throws a Nidus down, puts 10 lurkers in it. It always gets up in the Terran base. They never see it, and he kills their whole main base with 10 lurkers. This is Solar. His Nidus lurker will pop out into a nuke, and he will lose all of his lurkers and his Nidus worm. This is just how the world works, okay? I've watched a lot of StarCraft. I've crunched the numbers. This is how things work. Viper's coming forward. Nice EMP. Beautiful EMP. He was going to use Blinding Clouds. That EMP! Wrecking both of the Vipers. Brilliant EMP for ByuN. So he's just not letting up the aggression, man. Not letting up the aggression. I'm really happy that ByuN fought back. That game 1 was such a stomping. I thought Solar might run away with this series, but I should know better. These guys are always incredibly evenly matched. Nice Ling run by. Gets a few SCVs while the ghosts are occupied down there with the other Zerglings. Lings are cheap. He's going to go for an outside Nidus. Kind of announcing the Nidus here. Yeah, I don't really like that move, guys. It always feels like it's like, hey, just so you know, I want you to have minutes of time to prepare. I've gone Lurkinitis. I always feel like the first Lurkinitis is the best one. Solar's under so much pressure, he just desperately throws it on the right side to give himself more movement. He does break the middle. That was an excellent break there. Lurkers get jumped on. ByuN. Oh my lord! That Lurker volley was sick. ByuN thought those Marines were going to get out of range, but oh hell no. A whole lot of them got spikes from the underside. It's got to be a bad way to go. Burrow coming in now for Solar, finally adding these utility upgrades. 2 more orbitals coming in. It's up to super late game, guys. It's 5 base up against 5, 6, 7 bases. This is, of course, the late game map of the pool. It's also usually the Zerg map, though Clem does kind of enjoy playing on it, I think. Oh, the Marines dropped there again, got killed by the Banes. Bad move. Building armor and Neosteel, or high sec auto tracking, I should say. For those with a low sec drive, you can get a high sec drive. And Neosteel armor, bunker space +2 armor on all structures. And of course, high sec is +1 range to missile turrets, auto turrets, and planetary fortresses. Spires on the way, Burrow 3-3. Another hatchery on the right side. Does SC2 multiplayer have hero units? I guess the mothership. It's kind of like a hero unit. It's the only one. Only comes out in late game. It's the only unit where you can only build one of them as far as I know. Tanks getting blinding clouded. Bane Hydra on the right side. Midas got shut down just up there. ByuN. He's a little stretched thin right now, as is the nature of this map, but man, his tank positions are good. Solar just kills the command center and runs away. That's the best he's getting. That being said, it is getting to late game. Solar will build Corruptors. Ultraling Bane Corruptor is fantastic. Its movement ability, its mobility, it's unmatched. And it's going to be really for ByuN here about how well can he seal things off. And this is something Terran players kind of suck at, in my opinion. Which is you should build an engineering bay there or another planetary here. Oh, no tanks up here, guys. Guys, no tanks! No tanks! Oh my gosh, Solar catching him completely caught off guard. The Marine Marauder's going to run in. Mass repair, a bit slow on the planetary. And those Lurkers are going to now change targets to the bio, but oh, good cleanup. Oh, bit of an overcommit there for Solar. I thought he was going to distract him enough on the right that the Lurkers were going to bust that. That planetary got dangerously low. But he ends up losing all of his Lurkers. All 11 Lurkers go down, and I still think if Solar gets into like Ultra Lingbane Corruptor, you might be surprised what he can do, especially if he burrows a few Infestors around the map. ByuN is an antsy player. He's got ants in his pants, guys. And, you know, some people call him Micro Jackson. I call him ants in his pants Jackson. Because no matter how good his defensive position is, he will move out and attack. He can't resist. Marine Marauder Ghost trying to pull back. The Lingbane Hydra runs forward. The Ghost Marauder trying to get back to the safety of the tanks. The Ghosts getting blasted. Planetary on the top getting surrounded by Zerglings. If he doesn't mass repair, that Planetary will go down to pure Zergling. He starts repairing, but the Banelings are getting on top. The Link Bane blows up the Planetary. The Ghost got forced too far back. There's a Nidus Worm inside his back door. The Siege Tank will eventually clean that up in the north. Solar pulls back, but that looked like a pretty decent trade. And it's really hard for Terran in this scenario. He's got 2 Planetaries and a few tanks here. So I think ByuN has to just focus on securing this base. This whole army needs to be situated here. And then he wants to leapfrog to this top left corner. If he can do that whilst denying this base, this could be okay. Solar, once again, very slow to start mining all the gases and minerals in the corners, in the forward bases. Solar should be mining this base and this base. And what he should do now, he's attacked this side very successfully twice in a row. Remember the mistake he made last week was he kept attacking the same side. His whole army should rotate and hit this side. With some blinding clouds on these tanks and PFs, he could blow up both PFs. That would open up his natural and his production for the next attack. But Solar's going to attack the north one more time. Let's see how it goes. Viper comes in front. Great blinding cloud. Well, actually, it only hits 1 tank and a few ghosts. The Lingbane Hydra shoving through a choke point. A bit of a crazy engage there. Solar clears a lot of tanks. Let's sacrifice a lot of units. A few Lings getting in the mineral line to try and grab some value. And you'd be surprised how much value a few Zerglings can get, guys. Lurkers inside the main, but there's Libs there. Libs the best answer to Lurkinitis. You need to bring Corruptors or Hydras to deal with that. As I said, these couple of Zerglings, man, they've got the Adrenal Glands upgrade, +3 attack, +3 melee, as well as +3 carapace, I mean. A couple of tanks in the middle of the map. Looks like a misclick for ByuN. Panic is setting in. As Solar throws wave after wave of Zerg. But remember, Zerg is less efficient now by 10,000 resources. And as long as ByuN eventually gets these top 2 bases, stabilizes, he should be fine. Solar absolutely needs to remax and bust the middle. I think he should do it from the right side. He's going to try and do it through here. You see he's just outside of this sensor tower radius. You see this dotted white line? He doesn't want to give warning. He's going to try and bust it. The army's nearby, though. You've got to find a way to pull the attention away. You can't attack this angle. You can see ByuN's got 90% of his focus here, and Solar keeps attacking the same angle. And this is like, I get this is very well defended, but with Blinding Clouds, maybe a few good Blinding Clouds, I think he could overwhelm. Part of the reason is Zerglings up front will do okay. I guess, oh man, there's even a tank. There's too many tanks now. I think ByuN's done a really good job of balancing his defenses. Double planetary and 6-7 siege tanks here. Hot damn. Now you guys, 6-7. Guys, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's 7. I didn't count. I'm estimating. So I'm just like, hey, it's about 6 or 7, okay? It's not my fault. There always happens to be 6 or 7 units in every situation in StarCraft. It's not my fault. If ByuN loses this game, he loses the series, says chat. I think that's probably a fair assertion. Viper coming forward. Where are the Blinding Clouds? Ooh, Viper just gets EMP'd. Lingbane trying to jump on top. He got a parasitic bomb in the medevac, which was nice. The Libs are cleaning this up. The Corruptor's doing good against the Libs, but pulls the Corruptors back maybe a little early at the same time. Double drop gets in here. ByuN says, yep, I'm going to deny that hatchery, mate. And he should take out the Niders to make sure units can't pop out to save it. Those Lurkers will not be able to save it. Busting makes Solar feel good. Giggity. Are you quoting me, Twitch chat? Thank you very much, Brainless, for supporting this tournament. If I said that, it was factually accurate. It wasn't gross at all. Giggity. There's no giggity required. No quagmire commentary here, man. Command Center is going to go forward on the left, trying to secure this. The longer this goes, the worse this gets for Solar. He's got Ultras coming in, but he's I don't know, man. Mass Ling drop on the right would be beautiful. I think Swarmos would be funny, but very unlikely to be effective. Actually, against 16 siege tanks, ByuN is so immobile, I kid you not, if Solar built 20 Swarmos, they'd actually trade really well. Ultra Lingbane Corruptor coming forwards. Can he overwhelm? You can see Ultras breaking through the tanks on the right quite successfully, but in the north, the Banelings just could not connect, and there was too many tanks behind, as well as that double planetary. That's a cleanup. That's a devastating trade. Now 14,000 resources behind in the trading is Solar. Solar needs to find something. He went into this late game from behind this time around. Once again, mass siege tankers here. Now, you might think this is the point where Pig rants about Broodlords. No, guys, he's got 10 ghosts. I kid you not, even 10 ghosts with not that much energy. The current ghost, you can't even go... You could go Broodlords, but the way... You'd have to make 5 only, and you'd run in, you'd kill like a tank and a few turrets, and you'd quickly run away. And you can only do that wherever the ghosts are not. It would be like the slowest, most low, like very slow efficiency grinding unit. That's the only reason you'd do that. Because there's lots of ghosts already out. Once the ghost count gets high, the Broodlords fall off a cliff in terms of efficiency. You cannot interrupt their snipes anymore. Alright. ByuN is now up on a 6th base here with the rich gas. Solar... Wait, Solar... He needs to fully saturate these forward bases, man. He's still not fully saturated these forward bases. This is such a big oversight. These back bases are so easy to hold on to. I don't know why he doesn't transfer his drones. It's obvious. I mean, StarCraft's a really hard game. I know why. It's because he's not a perfect player, Pig. Quit your whining. It's just one of those things where, with the way ByuN plays such a static siege tank focused late game, that's something that can give you so much value. You know, ByuN's not left his corner other than that one double drop on the right side for a long time. I would love a few more spores here as well. Chat says no toss in finals. Feels good, man. I mean, generally, it is nice when there's too many PvP finals going on, too many Protoss and weekly tournaments. In this case of the PTR, I'm not going to say that's a good feeling, man. Not with how Protoss feels on the current patch. I'd say we kind of want... I like seeing Terrans and Zerg perform well. I like seeing Protoss perform well, but I also like to be, you know, feel like a nice, fair playing field as well. MaxVax looked a little bit lost about what to do. I'd be curious to see Clem try to play it out. I think Clem would struggle as well. It's just, you get so used to using warp gates. You get attached to them, but it's so expensive now. And it's so hard to get the upgrade itself, which sucks. Oh, he's gone Broods. No, this is too late for Broodlords. Like I said, Broodlords can only fight where the ghosts are not, guys. I think he just abducted a ghost there. Not a bad move. Like, if the Broods, yeah, hit the right, maybe. But even there, even on the right side, there's ghosts. I think ByuN should be good. You're kind of digging for mistakes right now as Solar. There's +3 and Blue Flame on the way, so the Hellbats will start toasting Broodlings in one shot. Planetary does very good versus the Zerglings. The Ultra's trying to get on top. Ultra Lingbane Hydra tries to bust. He should have killed the Planetary. Got to click this Planetary down to open up the next wave. I think Solar had a small window where he could have busted this right side earlier. You've got to be really agile with your movement to catch your opponent out. It's really hard once they're this set up. You got to kind of get them before there's 400 towers, sensor towers, missile turrets, planetary fortresses, tanks on every single ledge. Tank Ghost trying to defend. The Broodlords are going to struggle. Broodlords cannot be anywhere near those ghosts. Oh, we keep seeing this. Every time I cast a late game ZVT, at some point the Zerg feels desperate and builds Broodlords. It is the wrong call. Even if you look at current live balance, where the Broodlords do way better against the ghosts, Serral very rarely goes Broodlords, unless he absolutely has to. On a map like this, he really just tries to use a massive Ultra Lingbane army. Serral will throw away 10,000 resources to break a defensive position. He'll flip back to attacking the left side while the Terran reinforces the right, break that side, and then once he's through the front line and the defenses aren't replaced, that's when Serral starts to find crazy efficiency. You have to be willing to break the front line first, and it's just so hard in this situation because we're very Ultra Brood heavy against a Ghost heavy Terran. Ghost heavy Terran really good against this. To be honest, I think he needs to keep going there. How many snipes does ByuN even have left? Well, not that many. Enough for the Broods on their own, but you got to be using your whole army, not just Broodlords on their own, I think. We'll see, maybe. I mean, thankfully, the Ghosts don't have 125 hit points anymore, so they are actually killable compared to where they used to be, but... Oh, you know what? Is this actually an okay trade? Compared to the other trades in this game, that's one of the best trades he's taken in a while. Oh, no! Solar, he meant to click his army down here to defend. He misclicked it on the ledge. Oh! Dude, you gotta question the intelligence quota of Zerg units. They've got it work. The guy's like, go over there. And they're like, well, technically you clicked here. And I'm like, really? Really? You couldn't interpret that I didn't want you guys to cram an entire army behind a minute? You couldn't figure out that I didn't want you to do that? They're like, what? We did exactly what you asked, boss. And I'm like, oh my God, we just can't find good help these days, can you? They want days off. They want all sorts of special treatment. They don't want to wear the uniform to work. Oh my God, it's just ridiculous. They're all joining unions now. They say they have rights. Workers have rights. Disgusting. Disgusting Zerg. Ghost coming forward. Siege tanks as well. The Broodlords are there. Solar's in trouble, man. Like, what can he do? I mean, it's really tough. It's really, really tough. And I think he just needed to, like, commit a whole army to busting a side. Remax, commit the other side. But I think staying mobile and being inefficient is the answer. Lean into the inefficiency, but you got to bust through. It takes Terran a long time to build those defenses, and your Remax usually can hit before they get the next wave of defenses back up. Broodlord's trying to fight it, but remember, Fungal is trash against Ghosts these days, guys. It holds them still, but it doesn't interrupt their snipes. Siege tanks blasting the Infestors a little bit. The Broodlords do push ByuN back. ByuN classically does struggle with Infestor Broodlord. He really, if a player's really good with using Infestor Broodlord on the live, he does often lose late game to it very inefficiently. Lingbane Hydra coming forward. Broodlord's pushing. Dude, Solar actually getting some nice plays. He's only down 24,000 resources lost now. That's still a horrific number, but if he could deny this base, I think he's got to keep going. So what chat said before is how many snipes does he have left? I think he's got to keep going. Exact same thing. Remember, snipes cost 75 energy. Ghosts are 3 supply. He's got like 1 snipe in this army. Yeah, Solar's turning his Broodlords around. That has to be a misplay. There's no ifs or buts. There's nothing there that shoots up, except the Ghost's regular auto attack, which, to be fair, their auto attack's so good, maybe you can just move in and target it down. I don't know. But I think chat's totally correct. The Broodlords needed to keep... You can't just let him snipe all your Broods, then pull back and wait for him to get energy. It's all about momentum here, even with these. The Infestors are throwing boogers at that planetary. ByuN targeted them. He said, how dare you flick your boogers at me? He did target 2 of those Infestors down. Pig, I want to let you know what you do is really cool, says Danny. I've been trying to get better at this game. I'm having troubles, though. Welcome to real-time strategy. It's very hard. You will lose your first 5, 10, maybe even 15 games, depending on how experienced you are. But thank you for the comment. Thank you for dropping by. If you have any questions, let everyone in chat know. A lot of helpful people. Happy to help you out. Broodlord, Ultra Infestor running forwards right now, trying to jump on top. Big fungal on some of those ghosts. Ultras, Broods, Corruptors, trying to dive forwards. Ghosts on the high ground behind the mineral line, trying to run. Banelings blowing up the SCVs. ByuN's expansion will be removed. But a lot of Corruptors getting sniped. The ghosts, though, they do run out of energy. They do kind of exhaust their energy supply. And the Broods can now push forward. ByuN has a big bank of minerals. Not so much gas, but he's building Thor's Vikings. You need to pivot away from the Broods now. These guys are not going to survive much longer. Fungal could come in. Where's the Fungal? Oh, he does get a nice fungal, but not as nice as it maybe could have been. Remember, it doesn't actually do that much damage itself. That Infestor runs forward, throws a booger. You can tell Solar is just F2A moving at this point. Going, please die. Please. If you're wondering, I've never heard Solar sound like that, Pig. Yeah, you haven't heard him have an interview after a 30-minute game against ByuN in the late game, have you? I guarantee you, Solar's voice changes to, bloody Terran, man. It's not fair, bro. he suddenly just changes persona. It is a persona changing experience playing this situation and feeling helpless, which I think he is right now. 25,000 resource loss trading for ByuN. I really feel like the way ByuN is just racing to late game is like not that powerful. Look how close this is in the bank. Imagine if Solar mined these bases out earlier, guys. I know I always say this in late game in these close games, but like there's a reason I say it. Like, these bases should already be mostly mined out by this point. It takes Terran so long to build to late game. We really, really got a deep understanding of this in 2021. I don't know if you guys remember the Stripper Booty map pool. There was a map called Glittering Arses. I don't know what crazy person named it that. And essentially, there was a lot of maps where it was very turtley. Everyone was, like, going to late game. Every Terran got really good at this, like, build 26 command centers and have unlimited orbitals and mules. And it's kind of when I cast so many games of the same thing that I went into hyper-focus mode and I basically studied what the Zerg needed to do to have a chance of winning. And I ranted about it for 2 years straight. And now I'm obsessed with pointing out whenever players don't do those things because I have nothing else to talk about in these games. No, I've got a lot to talk about. Solar played pretty good. He was close to breaking him. But I really believe the mining the bases was the big one. I don't think there was a huge Broodlord window in this game at all. That being said, when he did go with the Broodlords, because there wasn't a massive ghost and they cost 3 supply and they only get 2 snipes rather than 4 at max energy, this is something I really wanted to see more of. And I kind of wish Solar pushed with Broodlords heavier, harder, and tried to just man mode the ghost. Because if you looked at that, he was running out of snipe energy. It feels like people are sleeping on the 75 energy cost of the ghost snipe and how much that might limit their utility unless there is an immense mass of ghosts. And for 3 supply per ghost, that's hard to have. Alright guys, Solar in the top right side of the map. Barcode ByuN in the bottom left. It's White Rabbit, it's side up 1-1, and ByuN is going to do a no scout Reaper expand. I believe this is just a standard 11 depot, 13 racks, 13 gas. Gets the command center on 18 supply. And of course, Terran right now getting +2 supply for free the moment they click Orbital Command Center. Which means you do not need to rush that second depot at all. A little bit of a luxury for the Terrans in the currently bugged PTR. Someone was just saying, have they actually run unit tested Broodlords against the ghosts? And I said, no, we don't test things. We complain about them in StarCraft. We do truly need a Spirit of the Law for StarCraft. I wish we had one. All right, guys, sorry, the pause did finish there, the lag. We had another commentator lagging. Reaper hasn't found any damage. We've got 2 queens up front, 3rd queen building the main link speed on the way, and the 3rd hatchery standard Zerg setup with Zerglings trying to block the Reaper. And the Reaper's going to get scared away. Doesn't want to get trapped in there. It is a 2-1-1. Oh, it's a 2-base 2-1-1. ByuN's going old school, baby. Stimpack here. He's going to build a Starporter reactor. Ah, I love it. I love it. ByuN's like, no more of this late game business. Even though I won that game, it was hard and stressful, and my wrist is sore. He said before the series started, guys, people were like, oh yeah, the finals is going to start soon, yeah? And Solar was like, ByuN's AFK. ByuN immediately said, shut up in the chat, which he likes to say. That's one of his favorite bits of banter with his best bud, Solar. And then he said, my wrist hurts. Apparently. I don't know if he's trolling or not either, but it does seem like a pretty standard situation for ByuN's wrists to hurt. Queen's rotating around, third hatch is there. I remember the first time I thought they were actually getting a bit saucy. Like Solar said something after like ByuN lost a Reaper and ByuN was like, shut up! And I was like, damn, he's angry. And I was like, wait, they are good friends. Just a bit of banter. Alright, Zergling runs around, gets dealt with. Oh my! Nice, quick carapace opening, hey? Haven't seen any Hellions, so you better build Zerglings soon. 7 Queens are coming out. These Overlords could be a little bit exposed. You see these 2 Overlords sitting in the open? And that one as well. Medevacs, he'll boost over there soon. Solar now gets warning of what's happening, starts carapace, begins Zergling production. Solar needs to build 2 more Overlords right now, though. Yeah, 2 more Overlords go down, but like they start producing is what I mean, but really need to do that slightly faster. That one Marine finally gets inside. Medevacs will boost forwards. He's thinking about maybe going towards the main base. He's got to boost it. ByuN very slow on that boost. There we go. Lair starts up at the main base. Lots of Queens, lots of Zerglings. The wall off is complete. 3rd barracks and tank production. That's a very aggressive build. +1 weapons as well. ByuN looking for the 2-base aggression. Really curious to see if we can make this 2-base aggro work here. Creep tumors spread. Catches them without even having a stim. Now he stims. Queen and Zerglings there. Queens are very tanky. Lings do crazy damage, but they're very fragile. Marine's trying to dance on the edge of creep. He doesn't want to get stuck fighting both at once. He wants to kind of bait the Zerglings off creep. Solar's too smart to fall for that. So instead, Solar just accepts his creep getting slowed down a little bit. The Marine's just going to grab a few Zerglings whenever he can, but he kind of just wants to make sure Solar can't drone freely. You see Solar's building a mix of drones, but also extra Zerglings at the same time. Behind this, building to a very big 2-base push. Combat shields, 2nd siege tank, pack of Marines. Solar doesn't have any vision, but if you take the pressure off him, this Ling might see the move out. Solar. He's sleeping right now. Solar needs to send this Ling into scout. He's missed the entire army moving out. He has no idea about this army, but he's making Lings. He's got carapace. His Bane speed's almost complete. No, it's not. It's still 50 seconds away. 50 seconds is enough time for ByuN to take a very aggressive position. A tank here, maybe a tank up there could be nice, or a tank over here on the right side could be really, really good. I think he's going to try and put that tank in the corner. Just there's fine. Doesn't want to go too deep. Oh! The Marines get trapped up front. The Banelings try to get on top, but one tank goes down almost instantly, and that's a great hold. Solar shuts down ByuN's push. A mass of Queens comes forward. The Ling Bane gets on top. ByuN just didn't quite have the firepower, and he wasn't able to concentrate it on those Banelings early enough. That is rough. It's a huge advantage for Solar. Medevac's going to pull to the left. Marine tank Medevac doing what they can. +1 armor has started. 2nd Evo chamber coming up now as well. +1 melee's halfway done. Solar's up 11 workers right now. ByuN's going to set up the most abusive cliff on this map, which is a good one. I just don't think he can guard it from a flank if Solar loops around. Right now, Solar's worried about his 5th on the right side, but as these units arrive, if he can loop in and clear that tank up from the high ground, he should be fine. Queens and Banes can buy a lot of time here as that siege tank just tries to bait him. Here we go. Those Lings looping in from behind like we were talking about. Tank kills a few Banelings, but oh man, some of them still connect. That's just too efficient of a cleanup there. Solar trading efficiently while now up 2 bases. He's going to squeeze a few more drones, and he's got an infestation pit finishing, which means he can go for Hive. The double lib can harass very nicely. There is a 3rd commence in a building, so there'll be a very late 3rd. It's just, this is such a big map. Even though there's good tank spots, I never feel this map's amazing for a 2-base push. You might think, why didn't he just push here with his first tanks? The reason is, there's nothing important here. Solar could have easily given this base up and just not fought it. He had to push up the guts with this push, but that just presented his army a bit too easily for Solar to clean up. Chat says ByuN is dead. Not completely. He's very much, he's looking a little dusky. A little pale. A little casket ready right now, but he's not quite in the grave just yet. Queen's taking a lot of damage. They take out one lib. The other queens will come up. Lingbane tries to engage. This angle is really good. And remember, ByuN is the king of protracted 2-base situations. He's so good at winning games after losing his first army. He's done it dozens of times against Solar, where I've seen him lose his bio tank first push against Solar on a 2-base and then win the game more times than I can count. Now, Solar, I think losing that base doesn't care too much. He's very wise, just goes across. He can deny that third. That'll be massive. And these Marines will pick up. If you get caught, left behind, but look at that. That's huge. That's devastating, man. That's so devastating. 15 workers. ByuN could not afford that right then. So much better for Solar than it is for ByuN. And +2 Carapace is finishing. Vipers are on the way. And you've only got +2 weapons halfway done. So ByuN is way behind. He kind of needed Solar to stay defensive for another minute or two and get locked in a defensive stance. That would have allowed ByuN to be a bit greedy with a mostly undefended third behind it and get back in the game. As it is, Solar's still on 73 workers, 4th base on the right side, fully mining, takes a 5th here, starts breaking the rocks, and he's got such good tech, so definitely Solar has an immense advantage. Yeah, if ByuN didn't lose those 15 workers, I'd truly believe, just off past experience, the number of times he's made sick comebacks against Solar, man. It's so regular. He's made crazy comebacks against Solar. Recently, Solar's definitely a bit more solid. Their head-to-head has been shifting in Solar's favor as well. Ooh, stays a little long. A few of those Marines dying to the Zerg. And sometimes you think, oh, the Banes aren't here. I can stand and fight forever. Those melee Zerglings definitely can do all right. Drilling Claws coming in, as well as a 4th command center. She's building out front. White Rabbit endgame is meant to be bad for Zerg if the game's fully locked down, because these middle bases are really hard to secure. Problem is, I feel like it's quite hard for Terran to get to the point where they can lock down their first 4 or 5 bases. Oh man, so many SCVs going down again, and you need to have Marines to defend these Ling Run bys. Oh no! ByuN clicks his army in, loses his Marines, not watching, at the same time drops over here, and a Parasitic Bomb and Queens are ruining this. And ByuN will very likely tap when this medevac goes down. He just lost 4 medevacs worth of Marines, 15 SCVs, and that is exactly the correct time to tap out of that game. Solar takes a 2-1 lead. Alright guys, next game looks like Solar's going to try a gasless build on Tydo. I love to see it. I've really been wanting to see a gasless roach opening. I haven't had the time to experiment with this yet, but I think it could be really powerful. We'll see how it goes. ByuN's going CC first, so he's not really going to test it with like super early Hellion pressure. But I think since he's gone double gas, there probably will still be Hellion Banshee against it, and there is a chance for like run bys and that sort of stuff. All right, going to take a 3rd base in the near future. For now, just droning up though. Is this going to be 27 3rd base? It's pretty early. Pretty early. 27 supply 3rd base. Nice. Very greedy opening, but in a good way. I like it. 4 Lings come out. He realizes there's no Reaper, so he's going to send 1 Ling across the map. You can see how ByuN likes to pull 2 Urkers off. So just 2 on each gas. Enough to get the factory, the starport going without hurting his minerals too much. It's really important, I think, with the lower worker start to be careful with how many guys you put on gas early. If you go straight for the, barracks gas or gate gas, it's not bad. It can be good, but you just got to be very aware of the cost that it is. If you put 3 on there at once straight away, like a lot of people like to do. Thank you, Moika. Thank you, Lillian with the $3. Says, is this on the PTR Pigs Mums Total Rack? That doesn't make any sense. Would have been better if you said Pigs Mums Total Recall or something? Total Rackle? I don't know. Total Recall is a movie that I associate with racks, as do all people who saw that growing up, because that was the one with it was a woman with 3 boobs, right? I think that was the 3 boob movie. Fantastic film, Total Recall. Gotta rewatch that one. I watched it as a child, so I really cannot remember what happened in it. It's like a fever dream in my memory. I'm like, the funny thing is, that's like a lot of 80s movies, I feel like, or early 90s. There's a lot of movies you remember and you go, I must not be remembering that right. But if you look back, A lot of the films from that era actually are as insane as you remember, where you're just like, what? Oh, I am remembering this correctly. This is hilarious. It was one of the best Arnie movies, chat says. Yeah, I think it was, hey. I remember it being like really enjoyable as a young'un. But I remember people saying it's like legit good as well. Alright, Roachroar and Evo Chamber. No Link Speed, remember, so you got to be ready to block with Zerglings, Queens, potentially Evo Chamber wall off. But because he's only seen like a few Hellions drive out, he's playing very chill. Now, there is a mobility advantage here for ByuN, but if he fights head on against the Roach Queen, it will not go well. I actually think ByuN's opening is quite good against this. He's got a Liberator, 8 Marine drop, 3 Hellions, but he's got to kind of find the least defended angle, and Solar's creep is excellent. Look at that defense for Solar, man. Perfect. Overlord's going to get taken out there as well. Nicely done. Lair about 1/4 complete. Lots of gases going down. Early Carapace. I think he pivots to Zerglings. The question is how early. Because like, if you're going to go Zergling and Fester off of Roach opening, you'd like to not even make Roach speed and make like maximum 10 Roaches. But that's obviously very greedy if the Terran pushes you. And ByuN is known to push on 2 base. Solar doesn't know about that 3rd command and it's finished in there. You can see the drop's going to hunt down this Overlord as well. Not bad, not bad. Liberator's coming down this top bottom left, but of course there's a Spore waiting for it, so it's unlikely to find much damage. Solar's so good at reacting to those. Five barracks coming in, factory and a starport, 3rd command center as well. Liberator's going to float in behind the 3rd base. Queen's trying to deal with it. The drones have got to be careful. We'll pull them away. The Queen's going to tank some damage. ByuN quickly retargets, gets 3 drones. 3 drones, not what you want for a Liberator, guys. Oh, I like that. ByuN finds the Creep Shimmery, attacks the blockade, and does take it down. Unfortunately, 8 Stim Marines, not enough to kill a hatchery here, I don't think. And again, Roaches and Queens are slow. 300 hit points, 250, 200, 150, 100. He gets it! Oh, Stim kicked in during that. I was like, why are its hit points decelerating? I was watching the units coming and watching its hit points, and I was like, damn, its hit points are going down faster now. Stim kicking in the middle of that. Nicely done. Oh, Hellions on the left as well. ByuN trying to get damage done with just a handful of units. It's a Roach here, a couple drones. Does lose his Hellions on the front. Well, actually, only one of them died. ByuN's doing a lot with a little, and he's only down 8 workers. I like the way he's played this build. Solar's, of course, defended decently, and he is going to go Lings, Hive, Baneling Speed, 2nd Evo, all the good things. Oh, triple Evo, guys. Triple Evolution Chamber. I don't like that. I think that's almost always dumb, but we'll see. He's got 17 Roaches. Roach Speed's done. Can help later on if you're in Hydras, or if your Ravagers just survive all game long. Sometimes your Ravagers never die. It's just your Ling Bane keeps trading, and your Ravagers just stay alive forever. Can give you some good value. Roach, Ravager, Ling. Come on. Oh, Solar not watching. He was distracted in the main by the drop, so he didn't jump on top of this as decisively as he could have. And ByuN going for a little bit of a kind of scrappy push. He's got to save the tank. He doesn't. Good focus fire for Solar there. Really good focus fire. Marines trading with the Roach Ravager. Solar's got to be careful, man. Ooh, but he does shoot down the drop in the main base. Very well played. And it's lost tab slightly in favor of ByuN. ByuN's got that 2nd factory now coming up 2-2 as well. I don't want you watching StarCraft. Are you talking to me? That's kind of hard as a StarCraft commentator. I would do a blindfolded casting challenge, but I'm not sure if I could pull it off. I once did the test where you try to guess what the Zerg sounds are on that website. It is like, I cannot tell the different... Like, I do not know what the difference is. Their attack sounds I think I could tell pretty well. But yeah, I don't know if I can cast just from the sound of a Medivacs engine or something. Marines moving around the bottom. Ooh, careful. Marauders, Marines, Mines moving in on the north side. Vipers are here, though. I feel like ByuN's got to either do damage right now or he's got to get the hell out of here and run away because these Vipers are going to add some nice efficiency. Bane speed's about to kick in. Does sacrifice a few Banelings there, does Solar to blow up the Widowmine. Drop in the bottom left does clear away for now. 4th command center is almost done. 2 more tech labs coming in. 3, in fact. So that's going to bring her up to 8 barracks. And the tech labs allow you to build both more Marauders, which now have concussive to slow the enemy units, but also potentially more Ghosts. The question is, where are the Ghosts? Is he going to play Ghosts? Or are we seeing more of a tempo style? Because he's got Widowmine production this time. ByuN's building 7 depots. Ooh, he's really upset by that supply block. He did not need 7 depots, guys. He needed like 2. With the command center finish, he did not need 7. But that's okay. Better. At least he'll never get supply blocked, even if he loses a few depots or a command center. He's playing like a kind of... Maru really favored this style recently. Though I feel like his successes with it have been diminishing over time. It's kind of the tempo mass biomine style. But you don't have the safety of those tanks. You don't have the ghost production. You don't even have a lib transition. It's all about Marine Marauder Widowmine. With Ultra Viper already on the field, it feels like the window to really find big damage may already be gone. Oh, I like this move. Gets a hatchery. Triple drop, gets a hatchery on the right side, loses a bunch of units though. It's not free. We'll continue in there. Widowmine's there, take out a few Banelings, damaging the Ultras also. Widowmine only getting a few Zerglings. The Vipers are there. Massling Roach on the other side. Those Widowmines! Holy moly, 11 kills, 21 kills. That was 32 kills between 2 Widowmine shots, and the Roachling attack on the left is forced away unceremoniously. Spy is on the way as well. Finally, the Ghost Academy and the extra command centers come in, but it's quite delayed. I think ByuN may have overcommitted to this kind of early late game period. People were saying Jackie Chan movies in the 80s were the best. Well, 80s Jackie Chan would be Hong Kong Jackie Chan, right? Some good films back then. Very fun. Let's just say the movies in Hong Kong didn't have very high safety standards in the 80s. Get a crazy guy like Jackie Chan, you got some good stunts. Surprising more people didn't die making those movies. They're like, we just do anything, man. We just smash a car into another car and hope we get it in one take, you know? You're like, oh my gosh. Ultra Baneling Roach on the south side trying to push through. Bio picking up, boosting away. Things in the north as well. Ultras and Roaches in the south side. Widowmine's going to fire on the Ultra. He's going to try and get on top. But the Bio, the Marauders do okay damage against Ultras. And I think he can just barely... With the Medevac healing, he can overwhelm. The middle of the map where ByuN might be in trouble. The Marauder count's solid enough against the Ultras. He's kind of low on Marines right now, which means the Zergling rally is actually very scary. Widowmine does get biled down. Oh, big Ling run by on the third, but I think he evacuated the SCVs. No Chadhammer, though. No Chadhammer, guys. Oh, wait, there she is. Sergeant Chadhammer is, of course, a recurring character in any Terran game, guys. It's the tank that stays on the high ground all game long, getting often insane kill counts. She's only at 13 kills this game, since we've rushed to 4 bases. Do Roaches lose more than they win? Roaches are a transitional unit or an all-in unit or a defensive unit. They're not a late-game comp. He just has a few Roaches left over. It's more at Ling Bane Ultra right now, but the Ravager's getting sniped. The Ultra's getting sniped. Mass Ling run by! Oh, ByuN! Virile as ever! More than 10 years since he won his World Championship, and he still has no problems getting it up. What a legend! A testament to his grit, his determination, and an inspiration for all of us older gamers out there. The Ultras and the Ravagers come forward, but ByuN's going to push to the front at the same time as he defends the third. Brilliant play for ByuN. He loses barely any SCVs. He stutter steps down the Ultra. He picks up, gets out of there, defends flawlessly. Even his drilly boys are killing the SCVs. Okay, maybe that's a bit much, but he's only up to 15 dead workers so far in this game. Overall, fantastic crisis management. That depot, if that depot was down and those Lings got in, he suddenly has so many more fires to put out. Can't micro his army on the front as well. Probably loses that. But ByuN somehow manages to stitch that together. And for a guy with debilitating wrist injury pain, like he's got crazy psychosomatic pain in his wrist, it's very impressive when he's able to pull these things together. Those two Zerglings kissing behind the rocks, and the ghosts do decide to finally kill them. Ling's up north, Hatchery's there as well. Dude, these guys just play bangers on the thing. It's something about them like not having it figured out. ByuN thinking his late game is unbeatable. Solar thinking his late game is unbeatable and therefore he needs to go, go, go. It's creating a kind of funny dynamic between the two of them. Corruptors will clear the libs. Ghost trying to get away. There's not many tanks layered behind this. It's got to pull back. It's got a few new siege tanks up here. Chadhammer has been replaced. Planetary's going to go down. Great snipe. Really good snipe there. As ByuN was busy putting out a Zergling counter attack in the north. Solar's got the gold mining. If Solar can mine the gold and this top right base, that'd be great. You just want to take the gas and the minerals as quickly as possible. Oversaturate both of those. It's only 2 bases, but those bases are very hard for Terran to deny, which should give Zerg just like a natural advantage in the base count. I kind of hope Solar goes for that Broodlord timing he went for in the last game, but it already feels like there's too many ghosts with too much energy, so maybe no. I just want to see someone make 20 Broodlords and just try to headbutt through the ghosts and tank all their snipes, you know? I just don't think it'll work. Nice Marine drop in the bottom left, gets about 10 drones here. Great move for ByuN, but now that Corruptors are out, these are one-way trips. No more just picking up and flying away in your medevac for now. Chat says, I feel like Terran should always leave one command center unmorphed. Oh, to replace it and build a new planetary? It's an argument for that. Sometimes Orbital's even better because you can just lift it and run away. Sometimes lifting the command center, running the SCVs away is better than having a planetary. Ultras on the front line. The ghosts need to land these snipes. Those Ultras are going to get popped, man. He needs a few more snipes, though. All the Ultras do get taken down. Goes a bit deep, does Solar. I think ByuN's pretty happy with that trade. Solar is now down about 10,000 resources. He's really got to saturate these corner bases. Honestly, part of me thinks he should mine this base out as well, or this top base, like one of these. I feel like he should be trying to steal the resources off these bases. This is really tough for Solar to crack him eventually. I think ByuN just has to be really patient and rely on Solar overcommitting. Because I think Solar feels so much pressure with the late game and the Ghost, and not knowing how to deal with it, that like he's gonna come to you no matter what. So you almost want to just be more conservative. Don't even make a planetary, make an orbital, and just like lift and run the SCVs whenever he comes in, and lure him up this ramp into this absolutely disgusting arch of siege tanks. Yeah, Ghost can snipe through Blinding Cloud because it's a spell. Doesn't make a lot of sense in the lore though, does it? Maybe their ocular lens or whatever allows them to see through the Blinding Cloud. Whereas the other Terrans don't really have any good optics, you know? They've got a heads-up display or something, you know? Okay, chat, hear me out. Next PTR patch, planetaries should have plus 500 hit points, but they leave a giant pile of debris when destroyed that you have to clear before building a new one. That's hilarious. That's so funny, dude. That would be so awesome. It leaves a 2,000 hit point destructible rock the Terran has to kill before they can retake. That would be great. I'm down. I'm down. I'll give him 500 hit points for the annoyance of doing that. Let's go. Thank you, Lord Mine, for the Prime Gaming sub. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out. Ling's going to come in on the command center. Trying to... Oh, those medevacs. You got to pull those medevacs back. Oh, I guess they were kind of bait for the snipes, but... Corruptors did get out of range of snipe. Oh, he's got a Ling drop waiting. Oh, look at that, guys. But it's empty. There's nothing actually in the Overlords, but he's actually made ByuN leave a mass of turrets and Marines in the main. And now ByuN's going to move out. Double planetary with a bunch of tanks on that base as well. I don't know about this move out, man. Oh, the Infestor walked into turret range. Unfortunate there for Solar. By the way, for those who don't know, there are Ewoks having a party on the side of this map, right next to this battlefield. The survival instincts of a very, very, very silly person. Some Ghosts and Hellbats get overrun. But the retreat to the high ground, always a good call here. Corruptors go back for one more Liberator, not a bad move. And this lost time still 12,000 in favor of ByuN. And ByuN needs to not build any more command centers, Because this is a problem ByuN normally has, is he builds way too many command centers. He's only got 9 orbitals this game. That's good. Please tell me those aren't new ones he's building. No, ByuN, don't do... No, ByuN. Solar is going to mine 20,000 more minerals than you off these 2 bases. So you need to play for the late game bank. ByuN always builds too many command centers. This is like really well known in the Korean scene. The Korean Terran fans are always like, ByuN, you always run out of money because you build 20 command centers and then you wonder why in late game you have no money. The Korean fans like are always harassing him about it. They're like, ByuN, stop building so many command centers. But he always builds too many command centers. And the thing is, because yes, you've got another base, like 2 more might be fine. But you really have to play the starvation game in this one because Solar's going to get this extra base and this extra base. And that's just so much extra resources. And you are going to trade better than him, but you just got to be a little careful here. I think on a different map with more bases that you can realistically take, you can maybe build this many and maybe even 1 or 2 more, but he's got to be a little careful here. Here we go. Big attack for Solar. Can he bust him? Not many tanks on the low ground. It's super exposed. This is a bad position for ByuN to try and defend. Pulling up the ramp, though, is the right call. And he's going to try and snipe. A couple of Corruptors get taken out. Some Infestors get blasted by this tank on the high ground. Let's see these. How many died there? He's down to 67. He's lost 40 this game. So he lost some. I don't think it's the end of the world. The command centers are going to finish building, which is kind of crazy. Corruptors are taking some damage. The Ghosts are going to come down and snipe some units. Ling Bane tries to roll forward. The Banelings will sacrifice themselves to allow the Corruptors to snipe the orbital. I guess he's happy he built 2 more command centers now, as one of them can replace the one that died, and this one can morph into a planetary, so it's not too bad. I mean, a few extra command centers is fine. Thor Ghost is there. These tanks move far too deep on the low ground, and oh my gosh, he gets a double Infestor. Fungal, but no Banelings to connect. And the Thor tank Ghost, the planetary, it's wounded, but it's going to get up. And it will get repaired. The command center did go down, but he can float a new one down. Honestly, he can float just one of these orbitals down. He's got unlimited energy on these as well. They're all maxed. I think ByuN's in a pretty damn solid position right now. Because 15,000 resource loss gap. If you get this to a 30,000 resource loss gap, even with 2 extra bases, I think Solar might just be completely screwed. Still making Massling Bane. I'm just shocked that he never pushes this side. There's only 2 tanks here, guys. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know I talk about the same thing a lot, and StarCraft 2 is very much like a clicking game sometimes. But, like, I get you want to deny this base, but don't you think sometimes Pro Zerg should attack a different angle rather than up the same choke point over and over? I don't know. Maybe, I know denying the base is important, but this seems a bit crazy pushing into this choke again. The Ultras are getting shot down, the Thors, the Ghosts, the tanks, they just pull up the ramp. There's no way pushing up that ramp can be efficient for Zerg. And once again, a very efficient trade here for ByuN, who's now 17,000 resources lost ahead. Just to me, it seems like it should be like 101, that when you have the mobile army, you remax, you bust this side, because normally in late game, when Terran stretches out to a 5th base, they're a bit far from defending their production and their main, and that's usually how you win late game against Terran, is they're so busy defending some expansion out in some corner of the map. You bust into their production and you kill all of their stuff there. And it's in the movement is where Terran struggles. He needs tanks lib sieged, his Ghosts need to be behind a planetary at all times. So for me, it feels like that should be the answer. But Solar's kind of just bashing his head into the choke point, and it's not going well for him. Raptors do take down a planetary there. Ultra Lingbane Infestors up there as well. I'm having deja vu. Well, Sue used to be a player I was very critical of, because Sue used to do this all the time, and recently interviewing Solar, he did say he modeled his playstyle off of Sue. And Sue I always admired for being able to decisively push. Oh, that's way too many command centers, isn't it? So many command centers, ByuN. You've already got 10 orbitals. What? What? You just want to make the game more hype by exhausting your minerals? What are you doing? So back to Sue. I used to really admire Sue because he would always commit to these fights where I'd think, oh, that's crazy, attacking up a choke point there. But it would win him a game because he'd trust in his timing and know that it was a good time to trade, even if it was a bad angle. He just needed to force the fight and win the game right there. The downside was like Sue would attack in the exact same angle into an entrenched siege tank position over and over again when literally anything else could have won in the game. And I don't think Solar's that same level of, pig-headedness. But I do think against ByuN, especially, he has... Oh! There we go! It's whenever you make him move! ByuN messes up on the rotation, gets all of his Thors caught out, and it's in the movement where the mistakes happen. ByuN splits his army incredibly sloppily. Oh my god, ByuN with a massive blunder. If only he had 2,000 minerals to replace that army and hadn't just built 6 more command centers. Oh no! ByuN takes a terrible trade there, and ByuN gets excited and starts pushing, which is not the answer. The answer is to pull back and defend. He's still got tanks covering though. They're blasting the Infestors, but an Infestor fungles him on the front. The Ghost snipe the Ultra. Oh my lord, this trade is actually insanely good for ByuN. It's insanely good for ByuN. Loses a lot of his army. He's going to try and get this out. 3 Ghosts and Hellbat go down on the low ground. ByuN's he's out of minerals except for a few patches here. So he's got about 1,500 minerals there. And he's got this base up here, which he's about to exhaust with these mules. ByuN's still making planetaries. He's moving these command centers forward now. He's going to try and deny this top right corner. Which actually... Dude, how has Solar not mined this corner out yet? If ByuN gets to steal these resources, and this makes the difference between a win and a loss, guys. I don't want to say I told you so. But I did talk about that 15 minutes ago, that you've got to mine these corners out by fully saturating them as early as possible. Gas not as important as minerals right now. It's weird how much gas there is in the late game of SC2. You'd think there'd be more minerals. It's kind of the inverse of Age of Empires 2, where it's all food and wood in the late game. StarCraft 2 is kind of like there's all gold and there's no food and wood. You know what I mean? It's a very weird late game. I don't know why there's so much gas in late game SC2 compared to StarCraft 1. StarCraft 1's the opposite. Marauders, Thors, Hellbats, and Ghosts coming forward. Ling Bane moving around there. Corruptors as well. Marauders are on the front line. Ling's trying to get on top. This top right side, if it gets taken by ByuN, you are screwed. And I think this is absolutely the correct call, is to counterattack. Chadhammer 3.0 is on the high ground, though. Tanks, Hellbats trying to hold onto that position. I think they will be able to. These rocks are down. You could run up into the production. Gonna try and tear down an orbital. Denying this base is huge. I mean, it's only... How many minerals, guys? It's 1,200 plus 8. It's 2k minerals. There's 2,000 minerals there. Doesn't sound like a lot. In a game like this, it could be game deciding. And that's a big mistake for Solar to have left that out there. Does it really matter? With ByuN still having a few thousand minerals here? Maybe not. ByuN might be winning either way, to be fair. ByuN's been more efficient. Much more efficient. He's up to 23,000 better trading now. There is still a lot of gas in StarCraft 1 endgame. It just rarely gets there, yeah. I mean, their gases don't deplete as well, so there's actually endless gas in late game of StarCraft 1, to be fair. Ultraling Bane rolling over. Big snipes coming on those Ultras from the high ground. Thor's getting caught. ByuN's got to be careful of this corner. Rotating between these bases is very scary. If he can land that command center and drop mules, Solar is going to be screwed. Solar's down 24,000 in the trading. Libs are going to get sniped by the Corruptors. He's got to stay there. There's not much anti-air. He could have grabbed a few more kills there. The Ghosts do not have a lot of snipes. See, the problem Solar's having is he keeps thinking these Ghosts with 50 energy have snipes. They don't. They need 75 energy. But Solar sees those energy bars and he says, all of those Ghosts can snipe me. Because he's used to Ghosts having 50 energy snipe. No Zerg is used to this. So I keep seeing him run away from the Ghosts, thinking he's about to get sniped when they actually can't do it. And Solar, he looks to the top right. He sees Mass Mule drop and he realizes... ByuN's got too much money. He has to throw in the towel. Alright guys, it's all going to be decided here. What in the world is this tournament today? We had an hour and a half long series to start the cast for the day. Now we're in the finals. We're in another epic, gargantuan series. Solar's in the top left of Mothership. He's going to go hatch, gas, pool. That is a 1 minute 43 spawn. I don't know. Guys, you cannot convince me there isn't a proxy barracks build, like Proxy Reaper or Marine or something, that ruins this opening. This opening is so greedy. He does it every game. And ByuN has just been like, no, you can't punish it. You're too behind. I just don't... I need to see like 20 attempts in a row of top players against each other before I believe it. This spawning pool is so late. And he never drone scouts. Luckily, his Overlord's going in the right direction, so he will see the command center first. But really interesting to see, guys. Apparently, by the way, guys, the soundtrack in game has been fixed up, which is really nice. How cool is that? I had no idea. Just found out that if you turn on the in-game music, it's got 90 tracks now. They don't repeat. There's no random bits where it just goes silent like it used to. And it'll cycle, yeah, all 3 races, the Nova Covert Ops soundtrack, the Brood War soundtracks. That's really cool. That's amazing, Avex. So cool. Was that listed on the quality of life and bug fix changes? I didn't even read all of them, I guess, so I didn't notice that. Yeah, we saw Clem do a bit of Proxy Reaper yesterday. That's why we've been talking about it. We really need to see more games of that to see what the safe openings are and that sort of stuff. Limit tested a little bit more. 3rd hatchery down south. I hope Solar goes down here, guys. My favorite 4th base here, 5th base here, 6th base here. I love when the Zerg expands in a straight line across the map. When Terran starts pushing that way, they loop around the north and keep hitting the natural. Creates a really interesting kind of movement pattern and interaction around the map. This looks like the opening from 2 games ago, guys. Was it 2 games ago? Actually, it was that last game, wasn't it? I think he's doing the same opening, right? It's an 8 Marine drop with the Hellions, a Liberator. Just 3 Hellions built one at a time. Now, that was against a Roach opening. I think I've seen him really fall off against a Ling Speed opening where it got completely shut down before. He's got to babysit his Hellions a bit more when there's Ling Speed out. If those get surrounded, it feels like you lose way too much map pressure. This is indeed the PTR, guys. I'm just taking a breather at the start of this because this series has been absolutely insane. Now, Terran tend to make a lot of mistakes when you make them move their late game army from side to side of the map. And that's why and it's also just... There's so much setup time with that Terran army, which is why I was talking so much about you've got to keep moving and attacking different angles, because it's so much easier for a Terran when they're allowed to just defend one angle on repeat. They just know, okay, put new siege units here, spread units in the same formation, replace all the buildings and units that die. Okay, Zerg attacks again. Okay, cool, I held it, now replace everything. It just becomes very easy for them. It's kind of like back in the day, there used to always be like very meta openings. Everyone would try to dive 6 Hellions in a lib against Zerg. And it was good for like a week, and then every Zerg had played 50 games against it, and it became very bad. Just due to them practicing so much against it. I think that's a very real thing in StarCraft and strategy games in general, is repeating a strategy too much automatically makes it bad, or at least less effective. Got to try and keep your opponent guessing. If they can mentally prepare for something before it happens, it's much easier for them to play optimally. Aliens rotating around. Chat says, oh, what the hell? Solar 3-0'd MaxPax? Yeah, not really a super close game. MaxPax tried to play some Sky Toss. Looked a little defensive and kind of looked a little flat with the Warp Gate changes, which is not too surprising. Him and Solar are usually very evenly matched. MaxPax has a winning record, but like they're always competitive games and series. And Solar wins a fair few series as well. So, you know, you look at the balance changes and you kind of go, oh yeah, makes sense. Now, interestingly, we haven't seen Solar really use Microbial Shroud much. Even on the live version of the game, Shin is constantly hitting Microbial Shroud timings against Terran. And now that there's extra cast range here on the PTR, I think, and you don't need the upgrade for it, it's even better. Alright, Lib just gets a single drone, little bit of denial timing. Being a bit slow here to unsiege and maneuver. Doesn't lose it, so we can always repair and go back in. Oh, he gets a queen, nicely done. It's always juicy, finding a queen with some unupgraded Marines. A little bit more than you expect to get for such cheap units. Overlord, oh no, that's a Zergling, sorry, does not see the 3rd command center on the high ground. Ooh, Mutalisks! If you're playing Mutalisks, you definitely want to take this hatchery, but look at that, the Lib is purposefully denying it. He's purposely going, no, no, no! You can't take this hatchery, I know you want to! Queens come down, they do take one shot, but they secure the 4th base. Double Evo Chambers on the way, Bane Speed as well. We've got Medivacs Marines boosting towards the center of the map. 5 barracks, a factory, a starport. 1-1 upgrades are almost finished. Alien rotating around. 6 mutas already on the way. This is a scary moment because, like, right now, you've got only 11 Slowbanes. If the Marines focus them all down, obviously, maybe you lose this 4th, you're in trouble. On the other hand, once these mutas arrive, if you catch this army, ByuN is really going to run out of momentum. Good cancel, though. It's a lot of banelings, man. Oh, ByuN clicks way too far forward. Okay. Oh, my lord. The way Solar just quickly turned while ByuN was on move command was so scary, but ByuN saves most of his units, denies the fourth. Very good play. Does he sense Mutalisks? Oh, he builds a turret! 2 turrets even. 1 in the third, 1 in the natural. That's brilliant. Just in time as well. Guys, look at this timing. That's going to finish as the mutas arrive. I kid you not. Look at that turret. Look at these Mutalisks. This is the game sense of a professional gamer, ladies and gentlemen. It finishes as the Mutalisks arrive. Brilliant. Brilliant for ByuN. Unfortunately, he skipped the one in the main. So it is a little... Oh, no, we got one there. It's just over on the right side. Smart, because he figures that's the angle where mutas would come from, right? Let's play. Oh, you know he wants to hunt. ByuN's hunting. ByuN is hunting, guys. And he comes from the surprising angle. But Solar reacts almost instantly. Only loses 1 Mutalisk. Well played by both. 2-2s on the way. Big upgrade lead here for ByuN. He's getting Thors out of his Tech Lab factory. Widowmines out of the other one will be coming, no doubt. And he's got a 4th command center on the way. On the other hand, Solar going for 8 gases, but his 4th getting delayed earlier does slow down that growth on his income. Marines and Widowmines moving forward. Sorry guys, chat's talking about pirate software. And as a professional hater, I always enjoy when that topic comes up. Marines and Widowmines coming forward. Thor's about to pop out as well. Mutas will fall away. Pull back there, drilling claws. 3 more barracks are on the way as well. 173 supply. ByuN keeps hitting these almost max supply blocks. It's a little frustrating for him. Little marine drop down south, just making sure there's no extra bases. But Solar, after taking this 4th, has taken this 5th. I do still think he should expand down here with his 6th base. Keep expanding in both directions. You want to expand away from the Terran, down the flanks of the map, against when you're playing Mutaling Bane. Widowmine does catch one of his mutas. Oh, he goes around and gets the medevac. I have a feeling Solar's just going to take the middle base, though, because he's got such good map control. I think he's like, whatever, I can just push you. But in general, you want to counterattack. You want to base trade. You don't want to fight this front on, and you want to get your Hive up. But Hive has only just started. And right now, it's 2-2 versus 1-1. ByuN's upgrade advantage is very real. How many mines is this, guys? Only 10. I feel like that's the one thing I'd criticize of ByuN. Could be a bit higher on the Widowmine production. Loses a muta or 2, getting another Widowmine. He's going to go for it. Big bust. He's going in the right side as well, guys. Massive attack on the right side. He pulls back in the center, realizing ByuN had many units there. But look at the defensive spready for ByuN. Oh, the Banes turn around and decide to come back in. The Widowmines all moved away. ByuN! 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 Oh my god. Solar knows him so well. He saw Solar pull back, and ByuN's like, cool, and he just F2'd his army to the right and started resetting his SCVs and clicking upgrades. He, like, just assumed the push was over because he saw Solar leave. Solar saw that happen, turned around, went back in, and ByuN was fiddling around with his SCVs and got caught off guard there. That's something that happens to me all the time, where I kind of take something for granted in the game, and I take my finger off the pulse. But rare to see a player of ByuN's caliber make that mistake. I think that only happens when you're playing a guy who knows you as well as Solar does. This right side is so open, man. No bunker or nothing there. He's given Solar a bit too much map control. And now ByuN is kind of forced, I think, into a deeper game maybe than he was really mentally prepared for. 2-2's about to kick in for Zerg as well. Nice mass repair, though. Gonna rebuild some turrets. Remember, we had 4 turrets here before. 1 in the mineral line, 3 here. 3 of them got blown up by Banelings. It's a great move by Solar. But as ByuN, you've got to spread units down here. Try to get a Widowmine out here to see any units coming ahead of time. He's just got a big spready of units, but not that many Widowmines. I kind of wish he had 15 mines. I don't know. I love heavy Widowmine with this style, but 93 workers for Zerg right now. 3-3 is now starting for Zerg. 3-3 is almost finished for Terran. He's going to float a 5th base up to the left. Late game on this map's bad for Terran. It's good for Zerg. I think Solar has made it past the point where this map is really scary and challenging. And ByuN maybe should have pushed harder in the mid game when it is hard for Zerg to defend. Ling Bane rolling over here. The Marines going to try and defend as best they can. Quite a few of them will die to Banelings, but... oh, it's the mineral line that could be the real boom boom. And indeed it is. The turret goes down along with a bunch of SCVs. 2 drones have died this game versus 23 SCVs. Solar's got money for days. Adrenal glands coming in. Chitinous plating is on the way. 3-3. All the luxuries for Zerg. And Terran feeling a little bit poor. It's a map where it can be hard to defend all your bases. This first 5 bases is meant to be the easiest part to defend for Terran. But with mutas on the map, it is not an easy prospect. It's very hard. He's got to split Marines to this right side. He's got to, and he's got to pump Widow Mines. I really think that's important. There's a few more Widow Mines scattered around this map. Oh, here we go. You can tell Solar's setting up for another frontal attack soon. He's got Lings going down the right. These guys will chase those away. Can't chase too far. You know Banelings mutas could jump on top and shut you down. Oh, here we go. Massling Bane Muta rolling forwards. The Bio. Nice defensive setup. And he shuts down that attack for Solar. The first real decisive hold that he's had in a while. ByuN chases pretty far. Oh, a little slow to stim there. There's just quite a few Marauders stumbling onto creep. More Mutalisks building for Solar. Now that has me a little surprised. Still committing to the Mutas this deep. I thought he would have swapped to Corruptors by now. Corruptors, maybe a few Infestors, and just, I mean, obviously the Ultraling Bane's doing so well. There's no reason to stop that. Widowmine kills 10 Zerglings. Muta tries to go in and pick it off. Thor anti-air splash is not the most impressive thing in the world, guys. All it does is stop the Mutas from staying clumped up in range for very long. And the Marauder will take out the hatchery down here. Looks like a single Zergling. Just making ByuN a little distracted. Oh, ByuN! Okay, he does react in time, saves those 3 medevacs worth of bio. He leaves a ton more down there. Remember, there's mutas out, guys. Oh no, and he's not active on the map. He's going to lose this drop. He's going to lose all these units. Oh, ByuN just losing units by the dozen here. Incredibly efficient trade for Solar, who's now on 2-1 with those Mutalisks. 3 more factories building, a Ghost Academy building. Endgame on this map is meant to be massively Zerg favored because there's all these bases down here that are so far away where Terran's never meant to get these. And this base as well, Zerg usually can take that and deny this base a lot, or at least for a long time. Mutas on the right side, a couple of Ultras run in, kill a command center, a couple of SCVs as well. Ooh, Bane's rolling after the bio on that side. The Ultra trying to fight the Planetary, it's no match for it on its own, but look at that, Bane's find the mineral line, and it looks like Solar. He's just got too much control. You can tell ByuN's in a chaotic situation. I think he didn't want to play late game, so he didn't quite commit to the siege tanks early enough, and now he's kind of going there out of desperation. But he kind of needed to have those the standard 15 siege tanks set up earlier so that he could actually, you know, do what he normally does and just slow everything down. A lot of the extra command centers got cancelled there as well in the previous attack. Chat's pointing out. How many command centers does he have? Oh, he's only got 3 orbitals. He's screwed. He's screwed, guys. At this stage, you need to have at least 6-7 orbitals to drop more mules. 6-7. Planetary focuses the Banelings. Gets some big shots off on them. But the Ling Ultra kills the Planetary nonetheless. Few snipes landing on the Ultras. Widowmine's trying to clear the Ling Bane. There's just too much Zerg on the dance floor. Ultra randomly waddles in from the front. The Planetary clears a bunch of Changelings there. Changelings 2 damage to both sides. So be careful as a Zerg. Your units are very fragile, your Lings and Banes. So if you actually have 4 Changelings in here, and they go off, it'll kill all your Lings and Banes. Dude, 6-7 is like so funny. Yeah, every time. I love that Dark Tigers in chat is echoing my shouting at the guy. Stop! It's in 2 numbers that come up very frequently. Silly. Meanwhile, then 69 will come up and I'll be like, oh, that Widowmine was sick. Can Solar finish him? Solar just needs to not waste time, that's all. And I think he's got plenty of time. With only 3 orbitals up, only a 4th command center building. Unless ByuN can take like the best hold of all time. It still feels very, very good for ByuN. For Solar, I mean. Solar's just, he's looking for that next wave. Honestly, I think he could take some pretty sloppy trades as long as he keeps trading. I think he could headbutt up any of these ramps. The fact that ByuN can't get his 5th base established, he's got tanks in the most, like, paranoid positions ever, and justifiably so. He's building 4 tanks at a time. This is how I play late game TVZ as well. Mass siege tank, hope they don't make Broodlords. ByuN, he's finally getting to it. He just needs another minute to get 10, 12 siege tanks spread across these bases. He's not quite there just yet. Gonna try and run over to this side to defend this base. Lingbane Ultramuta flowing forwards. Snipes will land. The Ultras get popped. Somehow the SCVs didn't all die to Banelings. I don't know how. Not a bad hold. It looks like there's SCVs long distance mining in the top left. That could have been much worse. And in a game with 7-8 command centers, you're fine. This is not that game. Solar finally, slowly, is taking the other bases. ByuN has been stuck in his corner for 5 minutes. This is the period I talk about where Solar leaves money on the table. He should have taken these bases and transferred workers. It takes him about 6 seconds to take these forward hatcheries and then transfer workers to them. He's got to get on it. Lingbane Ultramuta coming in, blows up the middle base. Mutas are on the right side, distracting. The Ghost will clean all those Mutas up. Oof. But it doesn't matter because you've got base in the middle, and Solar is happy to trade some Mutas, easily replaceable. And at this point, doesn't even really need the Mutalisks. He's just going to smash them. Tanks there, struggling right now. The Ghost's trying to snipe. The Ultra Lingbane rolling over the top. The Mutas are going to try and flow in. I do wonder if ByuN had gone heavy siege tank from early on. A few buildings walling off some of these entrances. I do think you can hold against Solar because Solar is so slow to take these other expansions. There's a chance in late game, but it is tough. This is also the map where Maru got schooled in PvT by Clem in late game. And that's pretty rare. As good as Clem's PvT is, I don't think he'd be able to do that against Maru on a different map. On this map, he was just able to outposition Maru constantly in the late game. Got a billion bases up. Maru just could not defend all of his bases. And yeah, it's what I like about it is it's such a scary map for Zerg to get their 4th and 5th base up in the mid game. But in the late game, it does shift to being much harder for Terran to get out to 5 bases, and especially past 5 to 6 or 7. It's just the way that map works, and I think it's why it's a very balanced and a very good map. Because for a long time, Zergs was saying it's super broken, you can't get this 4th is so hard to defend down here, it's so unfair. And we see games like that, right? We see games where these bases, like, and if you expand on these closer bases, they're kind of towards the Terran, and it's really easy for them to push it. But late game, it does flip a switch. If you can survive that early game, that mid game as Zerg, Mothership ends up being a pretty happy place for Zerg versus Terran and Protoss versus Terran. Terran late game not as powerful here as it just does not have the mobility to compete. GG, well played though, guys. Solar wins 2. Actually, no, he didn't win last week. He almost won last week. He gets a revenge for last week's finals. That was friggin' awesome. We'll be, of course, hosting more. Hopefully there's some PTR updates. So next week's tournament is hopefully on an updated version of this, guys. But we'll let you guys know. But now, if you want to support the channel, don't forget to check out the Patreon. Links down below in the description. There are some cool perks you can get. And a special thanks to everyone who's over there supporting the channel. Special thanks to Peden, Dragosar, and Oko H, our conductors of the D-Town Express, as well as everyone out there watching live every week, donating, subbing, chatting, hanging out, sharing stats about the players, and generally having a good time. We appreciate you all, and we'll catch you next time. Goodbye and good night.